The Cosmic Mother and the Serpent were once one. In early matriarchal societies, the goddess was often represented with serpents. She either held them or had them coiled around her, or took on the snake's form herself. The serpent symbolized fertility, healing, transformation, and immortality. The imagery of the snake proliferated globally. Cultures across Africa, the Middle East, the Pacific, the Americas, and Europe all had goddesses associated with the serpent. In Egypt, goddesses like Wadjet were represented as cobras, and the cobra became the hieroglyph that represented her, or it represented the goddess archetype in general. In Australia, the rainbow snake was a goddess figure that was believed to have created the earth. In Central America, the Mayans and the Aztecs revered the feathered serpent. In West Africa, the serpent symbolized divine power and ancestral connection. On that note, I find it interesting that when someone is to discover that they are spiritually gifted in Southern Africa, Bantu cultures, they dream of a snake. And the color of the snake and different other characteristics basically tells you what type of gifts you have, spiritual gifts that you have. So the connection between the healer, feminine, the divine feminine, and the snake has been something, and ancestors has been interconnected and associated with each other for a very, very long time. Serpents represented life cycles. Because snakes shed their skin, they were seen as symbols of rebirth and renewal. They moved between the earth and underground, so they were always associated with the dead, underworld, and the ancestors. The spiral shape of the snake's movement reflected the spiral of time, menstruation, tides, and the moon, which are all sacred aspects of the goddess. The snake was also linked to women's bodies and the womb. Ancient goddess figures basically were often shown with spirals, eggs, or vulva shapes, all linked to serpents. The snake and the egg were both connected to fertility and the mystery of life. The goddess was seen as a source of both male and female life energy, including sexual energy, hence the idea of the Kundalini serpent energy that resides at the base of the spine. And it rises up, and when it reaches here and beyond, it is considered that you have reached enlightenment. Patriarchal religions demonized the snake. As patriarchal religions rose, the snake became associated with chaos and evil. In the Bible, Eve's association with the serpent was used to mark feminine curiosity, sexuality, and power as sinful. The destruction of snake symbols in the ancient world was part of the erasure of the idea that the goddess was just as powerful and prominent as the male god archetype. In overall, the serpent was and always will be seen as a symbol of earth energy, cosmic energy, and the unbroken cycle of creation and destruction. If you guys would like to have a reading from me, you can DM me to book for one. And yeah, I will see you then. I wanted to add extra stuff about the whole serpent idea and the myth and where that all comes from and the symbols and the archetypes, but I think this is a very obvious and consistent sign when it comes to spirituality and one's spiritual journey and one's making meaning of the idea of the serpent and how it proliferates through time and space and is always closely associated to the source of creation. It's very interesting. You can do your own research if you really want to get into that type of a rabbit hole. I think the answers and the information is right there. So yeah, I'll see you in my next video.